years have been spent in the ministry of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I'm proud of that. The founding fathers that penned the Declaration of Independence and set in motion a nation destined to be one of the most powerful things in the world ever to be, they could never have imagined what their dream has evolved into just 2 short centuries later. Back then it was a matter of fact that we were endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They dreamed of a country where every man, woman, and child had the freedom to live their lives as they saw fit, without the monarchy of England dictating their every move. The main reason for this country was established was to find religious freedom. They wanted freedom of religion, not freedom from religion. And it doesn't matter what the opinion of our president is, America was, is, and always will be a Christian nation. That's how we were founded. And that's how we roll. You're free in our country to worship whatever or whomever you want. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Liberal activists and secular humanists have made it their business to make fun of Christians and their beliefs. God has been squeezed out of our schools, mocked by our courts, and pronounced dead by Newsweek magazine. But when tragedy strikes, such as in Columbine High School, or when a hurricane wipes out an entire city, when people have nowhere else to turn, it's God they pray to, and it's His Son, Jesus Christ, that they put their faith in. This is still one nation under God, according to the pledge that I took. The framers of the Constitution understood that the government's place was in Washington, doing the will of the people sent them there. They understood the fundamental truths about who we are as a nation and as a people. Now the government has become a threatening creature of biblical proportions, a mindless monster, out of touch, out of ideas, and out of control. We, the people, have been replaced by lobbyists, special interest groups, and opinion polls from overseas. Our politicians more closely resemble American Idol contestants instead of public servants. Congress is full of career politicians too intoxicated on the liquor of their own self-importance and power to hold a real job. I'm with my brother over here. I say it's time to impose term limits in both houses to give outgoing congressmen and outgoing representatives the opportunity to learn how to fill out a job application, and maybe they might even read it before they sign it. The failure to limit time in office has given us the gifts that keep on giving, such as Barney Frank, Nancy Pelosi, and Ted Kennedy. Dr. Phil would ask, how's that working for you, America? Fiscal insanity like a runaway locomotive has plowed through trillions of our dollars without the consent of the American people. Financial irresponsibility is being rewarded left and right with billions in bailouts, while the average American standing here bears the burden through forced taxation. The Securities and Exchange Commission having oversight on Wall Street is like having a blind man drive a bus for public transit. The current crisis could have been foreseen if Barney Frank and others like him had kept their eye on the ball and their hands out of the cookie jar. It's hard for a preacher to see this many people without taking up an offering. Yet nobody takes responsibility. It seems everybody wants to blame the previous president for everything from the collapse of our economy to the moon's effect on tidal waves. This economy right now and our future are on President Obama's desk, and he needs to stop the campaign rhetoric and start leading this country out of the ditch. I've got 2 3/4 minutes left.
Go for it.
Washington, D.C. needs a fresh transfusion of blood to replace the old clots that have clogged the arteries of our government for so too long. History shows that the disease of liberalism, left untreated, leads to socialism and the eventual death of democracy. We, the people, will no longer tolerate representatives and senators who are unresponsive to the demands of their constituency. We want men and women in Congress who have the courage to stand against the tide of liberal spending and do what we sent them there to do.